What's up, everyone? This is the Hidden Doors Podcast, a podcast geared towards everything self-development, from books, topics, and we'll talk to interesting people. My name is Kristen Fanzon. I'm an advertising professional in New York City. I'm the author of The Hidden Doors to Success, and my whole goal in life is to have a positive influence on 10,000 people. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with my channel. What is up, everyone? How you doing? It's 6:30 in the morning over here. Got my cup of coffee, feeling good. Third episode. Yeah, this is an unscheduled podcast, but one that I was thinking over last night, and one that I have to do based on recent experiences, and I just want to talk through it. And the name of it will be How to Avoid a Pyramid Scheme. Yeah. I think everyone may have had this happen one time in their lives, where you have someone try to sell you on this. And first of all, it is a nightmare. You never want to get involved with it. But two, some people are better at selling than others, and you could potentially get pretty far down and consider a pyramid scheme because you might not even understand what you're getting involved in. So this podcast is to help you guys understand when you're getting involved in a pyramid scheme, meaning when someone is selling you in a pyramid scheme. And I mean, you can tell these things from a mile away, but you obviously need to avoid these things. These things are horrible. Pyramid schemes bring no real value. It's a scheme from people at the top, and you need to avoid these at all costs. And it's just funny, like the same people who are selling pyramid schemes. It's like three indicators of how you can tell, or maybe even one indicator of how you can tell. It's all the same stuff too. It's so stupid. But I've had someone reach out to me recently, and I can tell you the story in a little bit. And so, reached out to me recently, and at first it didn't sound like one, then it started sounding more like one. And last night I was thinking about it. I was like, I just want to talk about how to avoid these things, because I can imagine a younger person who doesn't really understand exactly what's going on. Maybe you're in college and you're trying to earn extra money, and the person who's selling this is selling you on, you get extra incremental income on the side, passive income. You can bring an extra 20, 30K. You just need to do some networking, some e-commerce gig, etc., etc. You could potentially fall for it depending on how good of a salesman or salesperson you're talking to. And if you're in high school or college and you have a ton of experience in dealing with these people, I could see how it potentially could happen. But so I want to talk about how to avoid that, because it's just a nightmare situation you definitely don't want to get involved with. So this is what this podcast is about: avoiding pyramid schemes. And before we go any further, please hit the subscribe button if you like what you hear, so you can stay up to date with my channel. Hit the like button. So look, we want to reach more viewers like you who are interested in this. We want to help teach more people and inform and who knows, maybe entertain people, but mostly inform them about things, all things self-development. So if you hit the like button, it'll help us with the YouTube algorithm find more people similar to you, and that's the whole goal here, is to create and foster a community of self-development where we can all openly talk about things that have helped us in our lives, interesting things that we're doing, topics that we think other people can learn and benefit from, and have an open community about this. And so we can only do that, though, if you like and you share and you talk to people about this, talk to people about this podcast. So I would really appreciate if you did that, and it would help us build a community. So please do those things. It would help tremendously on this side. So thank you in advance, and let's get to it. So my dad has a funny saying, and it goes like this. He says, if it looks like bullshit and it smells like bullshit, there's a pretty good chance that you're working with some bullshit. And it's that, to a certain extent, it's that simple when you're dealing with these people who are trying to sell you on a pyramid scheme. And for those who maybe just are younger and aren't fully aware of what a pyramid scheme is someone who, let's say, pretends they have a business. This business brings no real value to anyone. They have no real customers who pay no real money to buy no real product, meaning it's a fake business. And, like Madoff, look up Bernie Madoff. That's a pyramid scheme. But what I've seen, what I've seen over my lifetime, people trying to sell these pyramid schemes, it's like it gets framed as an e-commerce business. So, hey, I have an e-commerce business. We do a lot of money, make some passive income. They probably throw out some ridiculous number that they make $20,000 to $30,000 a month. That's bullshit. And they want you to join their ranks. They're asking you. It usually comes off like, hey, I can mentor you. I can teach you how to do all these things. And eventually you'll have to pay a certain amount of money. It's, I don't know, it's maybe a monthly or a one-time large fee. I'm not even sure. But remember, this is a pyramid scheme. The people, like, it's just a pyramid. So think about a pyramid. The person at the top has everyone underneath. The person at the top has everyone underneath paying a monthly fee or something. And that's how this person at the top gets rich. So yeah, maybe at a certain extent, some people are making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, but it's not from selling a damn product, on doing the e-commerce. I don't even know if that e-commerce platform exists, but the people underneath this person are all paying this stupid monthly fee, and that's contributing to this guy getting rich, whoever this person is. So really, it's a pyramid scheme. It's not a business that does anything of real value. They don't have they have no customers. They don't sell anything. The way these people get rich is because someone reached out to you. They said, I have a great idea. They got this e-commerce business. They want to help you out, blah, 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 blah. And you end up paying like a monthly fee. And your job is now to get people under you to pay you a monthly fee. And you're not doing anything. So the biggest indicator is, like, every time someone has come up to me, I've had this happen a few times. I've had this happen a few years ago when I was in Queens. So weird. Someone was like, I saw someone weirdly like trying to stalk me in Petco. Not stalk me, but he was, I don't know. I guess he thought I was an easy victim for him in order to sell this stuff. So I was waiting online at Petco. I had to pick up something for my chinchilla. And I saw him like pretending to shop. And as soon as I walked out of the door, he followed me and he started asking me some questions. And eventually I understood it as him trying to sell me on some bullshit. But it was a pyramid scheme. That's the second latest I recall. One just happened to me a couple days ago. But they all sound similar. They all sound like this. It's like, I can make you extra passive money. I'm not doing much work, just about networking. It's an e-commerce business. I can't really tell you much about the e-commerce business because it doesn't exist. But it's an e-commerce business. And look, I'm going to make you some extra income, and you got to invest. So you got to invest in yourself. You'll give me a monthly income, and I'll make you wealthy, and you'll be able to pay off your bills, and blah 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 blah. You can tell a mile away when you ask them what is the e-commerce business, and they'll like say something they don't even know. Again, they're not selling anything e-commerce. If they are, I would be really surprised if they did, but I don't think they're selling a dollar's worth of anything on e-commerce. They're making money from you paying them. And so if you ask them, it's usually you just ask them more questions. When the guy in Queens who was talking to me, I was like, he stopped me in person, and he was sort of getting on my nerves a little bit. So I simply just looked at him and I said, okay, I'm glad you're doing well. Let me ask you a question. How are you gonna be competing with the Amazons of the world with e-commerce, with a small business model like you have? And as soon as I said this, he like shuddered. He had nothing to say. He said, okay, it seems like you're not interested, and he sort of like walked away. It's because he had no answer. He wasn't selling anything. So if you're ever involved in one of these situations, just ask them what they're selling. Ask them what their business model is. Ask them, do I have to pay something here? And who am I paying you? And how much? So, first of all, the life is not that easy, okay? In order to get a really amazing job somewhere where someone's paying you a lot of money to make money, no one is coming up to you randomly on the street and selling you. That's not the job market. So like, don't be tricked by this silliness. It's ridiculous. No human being goes up to a random person on the street, sells them because they think they're gonna make them passively hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It's not a realistic thing. Foolish people will get tricked into this. Gullible people will get tricked into this. They think, oh, I'm so important. Like, most people are egocentric. And so you go up to randomly someone on the street and say you can do this, blah, blah, blah. They think, oh, yeah, they must have picked me out of the crowd. Give me a break. So that's how you spot it. It's like, well, actually, don't think it's so easy. Like, go out and send your resume out to a few companies. Send your resume out to 20 companies. No one is going to be selling you like this person's selling you. Usually that's how you know something's up, right? It's like, this person is selling me way too hard on this. Like, give me a break. I never met this guy before in my life. Go send your resume out to 20 companies, 20 reputable companies that make a good profit, have great financials, good brand name, have been around for a long time, that you know well, and go out, reach out to the recruiter or reach out to the guy, the hiring manager. See what their stance is. It's going to be like, okay, tell me why you want to work here. What can you do differently? What can you help us do differently? What's your experience like? What are your certifications, etc., etc. It's hard. You got to sell yourself to get a job most times, unless you have you have a proven track record in your industry. You are well known, and then might be a little bit different. Then maybe some companies reaching out to you to get a job, and that's understandable. But you still got to sell yourself once you're in those interviews. It's not as easy as someone coming up to you on the street and saying, I can make you $20,000 a month. It's just, a little bit of side hustle. I do a little e-commerce. It's not a reality. So don't be gullible. Don't be naive. Don't even talk to these people. So there's three things. There's one thing, and then there's three things. So there's one thing is, if they can't explain their business model, it's a pyramid scheme. It's that simple. I've had multiple people come up to me, and I'm remembering some guy on the subway came up to me one time, and he started pitching me on some idea, and so if you can't understand how you're going to make money, if you can't understand their business model, then it's a goddamn pyramid scheme. Or it's something that, even if it is a real business model, if they can't explain it, they're stupid and you don't want to work for them anyway, run away. So it's either a pyramid scheme or they're stupid, and you don't want either one of those. So that's the first indicator for me that something is up. Okay, so like maybe it's like you're like 75 to 85% sure, like, this is a nightmare. Get this guy away from me. Don't want to speak to this person. I get it. There's nothing valuable here. You have nothing of value to sell in this way, and so it's not a solvent company. You're a pyramid scheme. And then if they continue talking, this is where you're 3 strikes and you're out, and you need to just stop talking to me. I'll say, thank you, nice talking to you, but this is not of interest to me. It's when I can't understand the business model because they're not explaining it or they're not willing to. Big sign of that's a nightmare situation. 2 is that you have to pay them. So you have to pay them in order to be in this like secret club of whatever the hell they're in. Maybe it's a monthly fee or whatever. And 3 is if they mention anything like with e-commerce. Let's see if that, for me, as soon as I hear those 3 things, it's a trigger that goes off in my head, and I just say thank you, bye bye. So a recent person came up to me or reached out to me, and it ticked off all the boxes, and so I just told him I'm not interested. But what annoys me is that the reason this person reached out to me is because it's because I'm doing all these things. So I wrote a book, and I'm doing a podcast. It's all around self-development. It's all around my central mission, which is to have a positive influence on 10,000 people. And what that means in reality is I want to take all the things that I've learned and give that information to people in their life so they can be successful. And that's all I'm trying to do here. From what I just said, for me, that brings value to people. I'm trying to give them information and inspiration so they can live more successful lives. My book on Amazon, paperback, is $7.99, and the Kindle $6.99 at the time I'm saying this. This is no get-rich-quick scheme, guys. Like, $7.99, the book is like $4 with printing, and I get, I think, a 60% royalty. I'm making like $1 a book or something, $1.50 a book, maybe two. I don't know what the math is exactly. It doesn't matter because I don't really even care. I'm not getting rich with this. So, and I mean, I'm not doing, not, these podcasts are for free, they're on YouTube. So it's a different, so like, think about that. Like, this person was trying to sell me on helping people. So I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll work with you. I think it was around like, I help people, so I want to see if I can work with you in some capacity on mentorship, etc. And I took it as this person wanted to help me with my mission, so I can, like, I have a big thing where I'll work with local schools, libraries, organizations that donate time or money to kids or impoverished communities. And I say, I will donate my book at wholesale, meaning I'm not making any profit. I'll just send you the books, but cover the cost of the printing. And so initially I was like, okay, well, this person maybe want to work with me on that. And then it's not the case. But so, yeah, you guys need it's just a bullshit detector. My dad's bullshit detector. It smells and it feels and it looks, and hopefully you don't taste it, but if it tastes and it sounds, it's bullshit. And it's a reality. So life doesn't just throw you $20,000 a month for a little passive income. Talk to people who have that. It took real work to get that set up. I know. I talked to someone at work. Someone new at work who was just talking about this, who knew some people who actually do have real passive income, but they work, especially when they stood the business up, they had to work a lot. But it was a real business that he could explain. It was like, they're selling this, and they had to start doing websites. They've never done this before. They finally started a business up, and they're selling this product to these kind of people, and they're bringing in an extra like $1 million a year. But he explained the business. So, and it took work. So there are many ways that you can build wealth in this world. You could even still build wealth with a pyramid scheme, but that is a joke. It's no value. You don't want to be involved in something that is just a con artist scheme. You bring no value. You have no real customers except the people paying you to teach. I don't even know what you're teaching. You're teaching how to be a con artist. So if you want to make money doing that, I would highly recommend not doing it, because it's a bad way to make money. You'll probably be out of business very quickly when everyone realizes it's a scam. That's how you make money in life. Is bringing value and doing smart things. Like, it could be a million things. For me, I have three approaches, and other people have different ones, and I get it. But my three approaches are: I have a good, stable career where I have a ton of growth potential, and I don't see the growth stopping. So that's one. And I know some people are like, well, you're not going to build wealth with a good, stable career. I get that. That's one piece of that. Second piece is I invest a ton of that money into investment vehicles, which at the rate I'm going, by the time I'm like 60 and I'm ready to retire, it will grow into multiple millions of dollars. So I'm aiming for 10 plus million at the rate I'm doing. I am very aggressive, and that's assuming all of the average benchmarks of past performance. If you read my book, I have a whole section on investing. I invest an aggressive amount into stock index funds, where I assume over a 40-year period I'd be getting an average of 10% year over year. Some people say, well, maybe that's not going to happen in the future. I don't know, but that's what is generally accepted as an average benchmark is 10%. And I don't want to go into this because I have a whole strategy and it's in my book, but it's not just stocks. I do some bonds, mainly index funds to protect myself, but I'm investing a ton, and based on my calculations, if I just keep doing this for 30 years, it's going to grow into multiple millions of dollars. And so that's one. It's one, stable career that's bringing me income, pretty good income. Two, investing a lot of that so it's growing while I'm not. So that's growing while I'm not putting any work into it. It's passive income to a certain extent, but I'm waiting for it till I retire. And three is I'm also investing in, you would call it a side hustle, but my business. So my business right now is the Hidden Doors brand. So this podcast, the book, and if these don't work out, we'll do something else. But I always have like a side hustle and a business that I can invest into and build a brand, and one day build a company, hopefully it grows into a company. So those are three easy things that I see that are bringing me in wealth. And maybe not, and I always, in my book, I especially say this, I don't pretend to be the most wealthy. I'm definitely not the smartest, not even close. So I don't ever lie about that type of stuff. I just can't. I just can't do it. I don't feel the need to. I don't really care. But those three things will put me on a plan to be wealthy when I'm older. And hopefully it's sooner than later. I'm working towards getting more wealthy as soon as possible, right? I think we all are. But it's not going to come from me just doing a pyramid scheme. That's not a reality. So that's one way. Some people might. So Grant, if anyone knows who Grant Cardone is, he has a very different philosophy, which Grant Cardone looks, especially on YouTube, to be a very wealthy person. And he's just an entertaining person. And he looks like he's actually a pretty good salesperson, maybe. I've seen him explain some concepts around like money and like, I forget exactly what it was, like an inflation or deflation, and it didn't make any sense. I've heard like when he's on YouTube and he's just like having fun and selling and doing all these things, like he looks like he knows what he's talking about and he's entertaining and he has his brand always showing and he looks wealthy, so you sort of get tricked into this. But then when he like sits down and explains concepts that you need an in-depth understanding of, and like sort of doesn't make it, what are you talking about, dude? So I don't really know exactly everything about him yet. He seems like his business is doing really well online. Seems like he's super entertaining. Seems like, from a wealthy standpoint, doing way better than me. I'll admit that, obviously. He's got private jets, but I don't know how much of that is all bullshit or not. For me, I tell you straight up what I'm all about. I don't lie. So, but his whole thing is that you just put all your money into your business. Don't worry about investing into like retirement funds. He sort of doesn't nothing about the corporate job. I get that corporate jobs are nothing to write home about. I get it if you can have a business that's bringing in you millions of dollars of revenue and profit. I get that. His whole thing is just invested in a business and real estate, which isn't. I don't disagree with that. I think that's another way to build wealth. And for me, I think my position is like I'm sort of doing similar things to a certain extent. I'm trying to invest as much as I can in this business, so it's better and it's more efficient, and so I build a better brand name, and so it can become a company that actually brings in revenue one day. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to invest a shit into index funds, so they grow into more earnings while I'm not doing anything with that money, so it's working for me. So, but I say this, and there's probably other ways, but I say this because either way, both routes are you have to work your ass off, you have to be dedicated, you got to wake up early, you got to be setting goals, you got to have a vision. You have to have a business that has value for other people. You have to be highly sought after, whether that's you personally, someone's paying you, or your business. There's no tricks to this. So, it doesn't matter really what routes you take, as long as those things are in there. It's like, work my ass off, wake up early, I'm dedicated, I'm driving value for other people, have a vision, I want to build a good process, I want to build a good brand. Those things make sense. Do those things, continue to do those things. That's what is going to bring you wealth. That is what's going to bring you eventually 20, 30, 40, 50 more $1,000 a month. What's not going to do that is working with someone in a pyramid scheme. So, yeah. So I had to make this my next podcast. It's one of those weird things that people will reach out to you every once in a while. It's like for me, it's like every 3 years I get someone who reaches out to me about this, and it's good to have a little bullshit detector because things don't come easy in life, and every once in a while, you never really know. You never know if an opportunity has come along the way that just gives you the break that you were looking for. Because you always hear opportunities and luck happen every once in a while. Yeah. But they happen when you do all those things I was mentioning. They don't happen when you're just sitting around and someone comes up to you and tries to get you wealthy. That could happen if you do all those things I mentioned. Doesn't happen in pyramid schemes. So let's end. Well, I'm going to sort of wrap this up soon. My next episode is I think it's going to be with Steve Smith, someone I've known for 10 plus years. He will go through why sales and understanding sales and why that's so important. And he's a real salesperson who sells things of real value, who has a ton of experience doing it, and we can learn a ton from him. I think I'll be talking to him on Saturday morning, which is 5 days, 5 days from now. And that's one thing. It's with pyramid schemes, the salespeople they're always a little tricky with it. They know human nature. So you got to be careful with that because they understand a little bit of how to manipulate human behavior. Something that when I talk to Steve Smith, I'm sure he doesn't. He sells real products, so he has real tactics, real strategies, and it'll probably be 95% hard work, and then 5% understanding and being smart about your strategies. But with these sleazy salespeople, when it comes to pyramid schemes, I mean, it's 100% sleazy strategies to try to manipulate human behavior. And it's like it's an exclusive club. You need a private invite, and they're smart about human behavior. It's like you want something that you don't have, and so the way they'll position it is like, look, this is a private meeting. We don't have many spots open. I can try to get you in, but look, it's going to be hard. As soon as you hear that too, it's like, oh yeah, oh, it's going to be hard. Give me a goddamn break. Shut up. It's hard. I hear how desperate you are for me to give you a monthly fee for doing absolutely nothing. So, but again, it's human behavior that you sort of want it. So like when you initially say, well, I'm not interested, they'll know. That's like, they'll use a tactic of like, oh, well, it's okay. There's other spots we'll use for other people, and it's fine. Maybe one day if you're interested, we'll see if there's another spot open for you. Because they think that's the next strategy. They think that that's going to like make you want to come to them even more. It's again human behavior. You want to be part of something that seems exclusive, that seems like they don't need you. If they seem like they're begging too much, it'll put you off. But it seems like they're like, look, you don't need to work with us. We have other people anyway. In your head, it triggers like, oh, wait, now I do want to work with you. So it's all just sleazy sales tricks to try to get you to pay them money. It's all bullshit. We'll be talking to Stephen Smith Saturday morning, and this guy has been in sales, I think, his entire career. We'll know more about it, but he is an amazing salesperson. He understands how to drive value for people, and he sells real products. So we'll learn more about that. And I do think sales is one of the more important topics that I recently have studied. And I think I said this in my other podcast, where I've practiced and I've applied it in my own stuff, my own business. But again, no expert in sales. I want to hear more from Stephen Smith, since he is an expert. We'll be reviewing the Jordan Belfort book, The Way of the Wolf. And when I read that, it just opened up some interesting things for me. And I think sales is great for everyone. I don't care who you are, because there are certain things in sales that help you in every aspect of life. Whether that's you're talking to your boss, you're trying to get a promotion, you're trying to ask someone on a date. I don't know. I have a wife, so I don't care about that stuff, but for other people, right? So it gives you confidence in other areas outside of just selling. So that's what got me interested in that. And I don't have sales as a topic in my book. I think future editions, I probably will add that, because I think that even if you aren't selling, even if you aren't in sales as a profession, it will help you in every aspect of your life. One, like I mentioned, like if you're trying to build wealth for yourself, eventually you're going to want to have a side gig, or you want to do your own business. I mean, let's get to the bottom line of what the hell a business is. They sell things. So you sell things, you need sales. You need to have a sales experience. You'll notice really quickly when you do your own business, or if you ever do your own business, it's not as easy as it seems. You need people to want to buy your product, or to, if podcasts, listen to you. You need people to do these things, and to make money, you need to know how to do sales. There are more techniques than just than the surface that you might understand, because that's what I've learned over the last few months when I was studying this topic and applying it to certain things like this business that I'm doing here. So that's one. And two, it's like going to help you in every aspect. Trying to get a promotion and you're in a job interview, trying to push an idea through at your company. It can help you in almost every aspect. And we'll talk more about this when we talk to Steve Smith. But really excited to have that on the calendar. And then we'll have a few more meetings. I think we have, or a few more bookings. We have one with someone who's starting a food truck or who started a food truck. That'll be interesting. That's a real business. They're selling real things. Another person in the next few weeks we'll be talking to who is opening up a clothing line in Long Island, New York. They've already opened up a clothing line in Long Island, New York, and they have an insurance business, again, selling real things. So we're going to be learning from people who's really doing these things, and we'll be able to learn from them, steal their tricks of the trade, and I look forward to it. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Again, please hit the subscribe button if you liked what you heard. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some likes. Give me a shot at sharing me around in your social media. My whole purpose here is really just to inform people and to inspire people. My whole mission is to have a positive influence on 10,000 people, and I can only do that if the YouTube algorithm is pushing me up on views, if you guys give me the opportunity to share some of these podcasts with your friends and family. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.